All right, we've got head coach Pat Noonan following tonight's match. Coach, if you just want to start with your thoughts on the result.
Yeah, tough night, tough stretch, tough week for us, results-wise and just performance-wise. So maybe the break will come at a good time to reset and try to come out of it in a better way than we went into it.
Start with Laurel.
Set piece defending was another issue today. Why do you think? Why do you think that's been an issue again lately? What's changed?
I think just how prepared we are for some of the plays. We don't start the game well with how we turn the ball over and allow them to put us under pressure, and don't need to really go to ground. How it even gets to the corner. There's so many things from experienced players that could be eliminated, but then we don't get out to the short well enough, and it's a good strike, but just the anticipation and recognition in those moments. And then the second one, we don't get out quick enough. I know Pavel slips, but it's too easy of a service, and we get beat on the back post.
How did you feel? It seemed like a physical game.
Yeah.
Did you feel like that was an issue for you guys, or were you prepared for
in the
that?
first half? I think they outworked us and were more physical, and in some ways, some individuals I don't think were. It wasn't across the board, but they're a good pressing team, and there was moments where I thought we handled it really well, but it's going to be like that all game, and you have to be prepared for it, and if you're not, then the game becomes transitions. And I think did a good job to get the goal and get back into it, but then you lose the momentum again on a set piece. So credit to them, they defended the ball very well tonight, and we didn't have enough answers.
We'll go to Damon here.
Coach, passing has been something that you have mentioned before as being something the team kind of needs to work on a lot of the time. Tonight, it wasn't great in the first half. There was a lot of, felt like slow passes that almost got picked off in the middle of the run. How do you go about fixing something like that is fundamental to the game, but still seems to be something that the team sometimes struggles with?
Yeah, we're trying to figure that out. We have too many guys, I think, that in some moments just lacking composure and playing too fast and not recognizing the moments of when to just try to control the ball and control play, or when you need to get the ball off your feet because you're under pressure. I think we're struggling in those moments, and then just the simple where there's no pressure and the decision's poor. That we have to continue to look at and figure out a solution for.
And can you talk about the decision to take Dado out at the half? He's kind of been heating up lately, and I think a lot of people were wondering why.
Yeah, it's game to game. Last performance was last performance for everybody, and the game was physical, and I didn't think he was impacting the game like he had in previous games. And we were having to play direct because we weren't doing well enough with how we moved through the pressure, and when we're playing direct, it wasn't playing into his strengths. And so part of it was just the way the game was playing out, thinking we could get two more physical, bigger bodies up top to try to help us in those moments to gain advantages. So that was the reason.
Go over here.
Hey, Coach. So last three previous games, set pieces are being hurt in the team. We saw it twice today. Do you have any explanation why and any solutions on the future?
We just covered that. We just covered the set piece. So you could go to the previous answer.
But is there an explanation why the team it's lacking of defense on set pieces?
I just explained the two moments. So we didn't do well enough in the set pieces. That's letting us down.
We'll go here to Carter.
Pat, you mentioned the break may come at a good time here, chance to reset. What do you think can be done over this next 2 weeks to find that reset and come out looking a little different?
Yeah, we'll meet tomorrow and we'll talk about where we're at and the things that can improve. Obviously, this week will have us go into it with, frustration, I'm sure, but hopefully it's a chance to reset and think about how we come back and add value to, each individual to what they can do to help us come out of the break in a good way, and then just focus on progress. That was a lot of the conversation this week, is not worrying about what's a couple months down the road. We just try to get better now, and there's things that we know we can improve on, and we try to look at it in a way where we're honest and move forward where we know there's a lot to improve on.
You've mentioned in the past that the team can sometimes struggle to do the small things well, and when you do them well,
Yeah.
you end up playing really well. Do you feel at this point, I know you said you're going to meet tomorrow and address some of this kind of stuff, but do you feel like the problems are more large scale, or are they detail driven still, and that's where the corrections maybe
Depends on which part of the game. I think there's a little bit of both.
We're to Laurel there.
You had some changes in the lineup tonight. How much of that was in response to what you saw Wednesday, and how much was it just fresh leg, like needing rotation?
Fresh legs. This was part of the week.
And then is there any update on Matt?
It was a contact, I don't want to call it injury, but knock, and he was struggling to put pressure or weight on his foot. And so, I think at that point it was how much can he do with how he was feeling in the moment. And so we'll see. I don't know what the diagnosis is.
Let's go to here to Jose to wrap up.
Buenas noches, profe, para Contragolpe TV. Profe, ¿por qué con los equipos que están abajo en la tabla de posiciones el equipo tiene tanto problema? Lo tuvo con Atlanta United, con el Dallas y ahora con el DC.
Coach, the results this week came against teams obviously lower than you in the table. How frustrating is it to struggle against those teams in this week, Atlanta, Dallas, DC?
Every game's challenging for different ways, for different reasons. And we don't concern ourselves with where teams are positioned in the table. Our focus is on us and trying to be a good team and improve. So all of those teams, despite their records, show that they can, go and beat good teams. Well, right now, I think there's a lot that you can look at our group and say, how good are we? But it doesn't matter where teams are ranked. It's hard. You have to be prepared, and you have to go prove yourself every time you play. And that's what we need to improve on.
Pat, thank you very much.
Thanks.